Welcome back to Your Morning Prophet. I'm John. We always begin with gratitude, and Lord, this day is no different. Thank you so much for all you've given us. Thank you for the love and the understanding. Thank you for our friends and family and even our enemies, Lord. Please keep us all safe from COVID-19. We ask this in your name. Amen. So what kind of Jesus is your Jesus? Well, let's add a few miracles to the mix before we go final with that. But you might say, I like the Jesus of the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount. I like the Jesus who God ascended into heaven after his resurrection. I like the Jesus who talked about peace and love. Well, Jesus was called the Prince of Peace, but there's a few, 1 John 4, verse 12. No one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us, which is just basically saying, look in the mirror if you want to see God, because God is in all of us. And Matthew 5, verse 9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. But maybe you'd like your Jesus with a little more Tabasco sauce on him. And here's a few. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 35. For I came to cause division, with a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and on and on and on. Really, Jesus was brought to separate us too. And then in Philippians, Paul talks about in chapter 4, verses 6 and 7, he talks about the Jesus, he thinks walked the earth. And the quote is, do not think I came to bring peace to the earth. I came to bring not peace, but a sword. And this is what was at the base of a lot of the Paul version of Jesus, called the Paulines, and the family back in Jerusalem, and James, his brother, who was basically keeping the movement alive and keeping the movement alive to try to convince Jews that Jesus was their Messiah. And one of the things people pointed to were the miracles. And the Bible has almost 40 miracles, individual miracles, all the way from Cana, where Jesus turned the water into wine and admonished his mother and said, hey, it's not my time. The 10 lepers, the Syrophoenician woman, who he really gets close to the edge, talking about crumbs off the table to dogs, and insinuating that he wasn't put on earth to take care of Gentiles. The withered hand, the withered fig tree, even up to Gethsemane, when Peter cuts the ear off one of the servants of the Jewish security force that have come to arrest him, and Jesus takes the ear and reattaches it in front of everybody. And I don't know about you, but if I would have been there arresting Jesus and he did something like that, I think I would have fallen on my hands and knees and said, tell me what to do, Lord. Anyway, what kind of Jesus is your Jesus? And there's something else to think about, because at a point after Jesus' death, you had James, his brother, and what became known as the Edomites. And they had their final showdown with the Paulines, the people who were following the Apostle Paul, who had his own agenda. And we're going to look at that tomorrow, and we'll be talking about the Sinaitic, I don't want to say this wrong because, but some codexes, which codex means a book. But the Codex Vaticanus, the Codex Sinaiticus. You say tomato, I say tomorrow. We'll talk about those. And now it's time for intervention. Lord, this intervention is for Blanca. Blanca, somebody I've met recently. She's just not sure, Lord. She's not sure. She knows she's supposed to believe something, but isn't sure during the virus, with all the politics raging around, with wars in the world, with people still dying of starvation. What she believe and who is she supposed to be? So Lord, I'm just going to pray that she looks inside herself, just like that verse from John, that God is inside all of us, and that she keeps her light alive. Lord, help Blanca, help her family, help her friends, help everyone that can help her find the light that's inside her. We ask this, Lord. Amen. Be what you dream about in the coming days, Blanca. I'm just warning you. Tomorrow, in one corner are the Paulines, in one corner are the Edomites, and let's see who comes out on top.